Good morning. This is Dr. Susan, and I welcome you to our Play and Learn series. I'm delighted that you're here. And today we're going to, I'm going to introduce you to a new author that we haven't used before. Her name is Bunny Hull, Hull. And the book we're going to be doing today is the series called The Young Masters. And this title of this book is called This Little Light. We've done similar books that have a little bit to do with light, the light within inside of us. But we're going to go ahead and look at what she's talked about. And it's a really fun story. And at the end, I'm going to have her website there for you because she has lots of other books, and she is a songwriter and is a singer. So she has wonderful materials and songs that maybe your mom and dad would like to look at and have for you at home. So you can take a look at that, but it's Dream a World is the website, and we'll have that up on the screen for you towards the end of the story. But she's a delightful lady. I've known her for a lot of years. So I'm going to introduce you to her books and some of the wonderful things that she shares. All right? So today we're going to take a look at light. We'll see how well we can light up the world today. All right, so let's get started with our story. Okay, story time. We have a parrot today. Young Masters, This Little Light. It's written by Bunny Hull, illustrated by Kyle Fleming, and it's called the Little Wisdom Series. But Young Masters is the title of her books. So we're going to take a look at this. Once upon a time, somewhere over the sky and under the moon, Bertrand, Philos, and Etha set foot on planet Earth for the very first time. Until then, they had only heard stories about the powerful gifts born to the people of Earth. Now, they would learn all about them. What were the gifts? How were they used? It was like there was a magic garden, and their adventures began as they sat by the stream and talked about the very important things the things that they'd learned from Safini, the secrets of the heart. So let's see what they discover. Look at all these little fireflies, said Philos. How do you think they light up like that? Sometimes something must make them glow, said Etha. Do you think everyone on Earth has a light that shines? Asked Philos. Sophina says that the people on Earth are born with an inside light that shines all the time, said Bertrand. An inside light, asked Philos. What's that called? Safina says it's called love, said Bertrand. What's love? Athena asked. It's a feeling you have when someone that makes you warm and happy, said Bertrand. What happens when you love someone? Asked Etha. You feel like your love light gets very bright, said Bertrand. Kind of like you swallow the sun and it tickles your tummy and makes you smile a lot. Can you imagine swallowing the sun? It certainly would make you warm. How do you know who you're supposed to love? Asked Philos. It's one of those secrets your heart tells you, said Bertrand. It happens a lot in families with friends and teachers, but some people just love everyone. What do you do when you love someone? Asked Etha. Sophina says that the best thing is just to let your light out and shine as big as you can, said Bertrand. All the beautiful little hearts coming from the heart. How do you do that? Asked Philos. By thinking good thoughts and saying nice things, said Bertrand, and taking care of those you love. As you can see, there's little birds in the trees they're discovering. Maybe you could give them a really tight hug, said Philos. Or make a special gift for them, said Etha. Saying I love you would be something good to do, said Bertrand. How else would they know if you didn't tell them? Are there different kinds of love? Asked Philos. Well, said Bertrand, Safina says sometimes people fall in love, and when that happens, they feel like two peas in a pod, and they want to hold hands all the time. Can you love other things besides people? Asked Athea. Earth people love pets and other animals very much, said Bertrand, and their animals love them too. People love all kinds of things like playing an instrument or reading, said Bertrand. Or maybe they love the color purple, said Philos. How about Earth? Asked Eva. Do they love it? Sophina says that loving Earth is very important, said Bertrand. How do you love a planet? Asked Philos. By taking care of it, said Bertrand. How do you know when someone loves you? Asked Eva. They make you feel safe, said Bertrand, and they'll do almost anything for you. If you love yourself, giggles Philos, does your love light shine brighter? Oh, yes, said Bertrand. When you love yourself, you have even more love to give. And Sophina says, when you give love, it goes around in a circle and comes right back to you. Isn't that cool? All you have to do is sprinkle a little love light, said Bertrand, and love pops up everywhere. It looks like he has a heart stick. Love makes the world beautiful, said Athea. Have you told someone you love them today? Thanks for being here. All right. That's a cute story. Oh, look, we have flying birds today. How cool is that? Greg does such great stuff for us. That is a really, really cool story. Put my clicker over here. Anyway, that's some of the one. It gives you a little bit of a taste of the stories that Bunny Hull has written, and the one she's talking about today. It just is the love light that lives within all of us. And like when they landed on planet Earth, they said, well, what do you do with it? Well, they gave us a lot of different ideas. Today I thought it might be kind of fun to be able to take the idea of creating your own love light that shines bright when we engage with other people, when we do something that we really love doing, whether you play sports or whether you read books or you create things with your hands and different materials, it just makes you feel so warm and happy inside that you're doing something that you really love, and that it makes you shine and makes you feel good. And then anybody that walks in around you just feels it. It's not something you have to say to them. They just feel comfortable being around you. That's like love energy, that we get lots of energy from the way things unfold for us when you go to school. I know right now some of us aren't, but if we are going to online school right now, where we do our classes that way, you may not be able to physically touch your friends or shake hands or hug if that's what you like to do, but you do get to see their faces. You get to hear their voices. So you get to hear that part of them. So that's their love too. When you speak and you talk to people and you have a smile on your face, when you're not wearing your mask anyway. So when you have a smile on your face, people can see that. And it isn't necessarily this smile that you see the smile in their eyes. Their eyes are shiny and bright. And it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel warm. And that's just love in general. And then you break it into these specific little parts, which would be the love you have for your family, and the love you have for a friend, the love your mom and dad share with each other, and the love that your mom and dad share for you and with you, and the love you have for your sisters and brothers if you have them. And then you go to pets. How do you know a pet loves you? They have a light, and I think I have 3 cats, and I think I've shared that with you before. And when a cat sits on your lap and you're petting, they just purr. And so to me, the purring is them telling you that they love you, that they want to be by you, and they want you to touch them. And that's the way the cats are. And dogs are very similar in the same way. They like to lick you. Cats like to lick you too. Their tongues are a little rough, but not as much as a dog does. But the different pets, have you ever had a parakeet for a pet? I did a long time ago. And when you walk into the room, the parakeet starts chirping. If you have a parrot, maybe it talks to you. That's fun too. You can teach it to talk. So there's all kinds of ways that love comes to us. But the most important one, and I think it was Philos that asked, is can you love yourself? Is that all right to do? And it was absolutely, because the way that you love yourself is the way that you love other people. And that's what makes us feel good. And sometimes when you have an experience where you're feeling blue or you're feeling sad for whatever reason, and a friend comes by and asks you, gee, are you okay? And you're able to share how you're feeling, and they make you feel better too. So it's their love light recognizing you and wanting to make a difference for you and wanting you to feel better. So I thought it would be kind of fun to make our own love light that we see on the outside, not necessarily on the inside. And the process that I have for us to do today is taking a little glass jar. Well, it's not a jar, but a little glass container like this. And I think you can see it. It's kind of hard to see without something dark behind it. But here's one that's got a candle in it. Okay, so there's one that has a candle in it. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to go a couple of different directions. One is like how you might feel when your love light is a little bit on the dull side because of how you're feeling or the things that happened. But we always know, and we'll see the difference between when that's low and then when it's bright. So what we do is you can take any kind of a jar that you happen to have at home, and you want to take what we call Mod Podge. It's like this. This is the high gloss. You can get that at any of the stores. And then I got a collection of tissue paper. This one is kind of like a light green. I don't know if you can see that very well. This is a lime green there. And then I also have a blue. So we have a blue tissue paper, and we also have yellow. I'll lay them all out here. And you need a container to pour the Mod Podge in and a couple of paintbrushes. So we're going to take the tissue paper, and instead of cutting it out with scissors, I think you probably used some of this before, but it's always kind of fun to try new things. So you get a jar, and then ask Mom if she has any tissue paper you can use. And if your mom is like me, or my mom, we collect tissue paper when we do Christmas, with gifts and things like that, and we don't throw it away, we use it for other things. And I use it for a lot of craft stuff. So what we're doing is we're just going to tear the tissue paper, not in itty-bitty little pieces, but in reasonable size, about like that. And we're going to tear some of that. Okay. I'm going to do some yellow. And I'm going to do one other light color. We're going to do one here. So we're going to tear these pieces like this. You don't need a whole lot. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside. Move the yellow. So we have that. And then I'm going to do the green. So we're going to take the green too and do basically the same thing. We're going to tear some pieces. And like I said, you don't have to get big pieces. You can do little pieces. And the Mod Podge is like a glue, but it's clear. And it's going to help us make the tissue paper, stick to the candle holder. Okay, so we have some pieces. So I'll set this aside. We're going to do the blues in just a little bit. So we'll turn those over there. All right. So now you're going to just put the Mod Podge in it looks like white paste. That's what it looks like when you use it. And then I'm going to take in the jar, and I'm going to hold the tissue paper on the jar, and I'm going to brush it with the Mod Podge, just like that. So there's one piece. I hope you can see this. Anyway, but I'll hold it up this way too so you can see it up on the other camera. Now I'm going to take a piece of the green and lay it on top of it. And I'm going to take more Mod Podge and put it over top of that. So we go like that. Now this is a fun thing to do, and it also can be a project if you wanted to make someone a gift and honor the love light that they have within them. You could do that too. That's a fun thing to do. I think like next Sunday is Valentine's Day. So you could actually use this as a gift for maybe your mom or your dad and share your love light in something that you've created. So, and you can, when I talk about a jar, you can use a jar it just has to be glass, that maybe that's you've emptied, like something that you've emptied that's you know, that you've used all the items, the stuff in it. Now the other thing we're going to do a little bit else, I'm just going to keep going around it like this and lay it like that because there's glue on the bottom. Then I'm going to take this little piece and kind of crinkle it up a little bit. Just do like that. Spread it out, and it has texture. So we're going to put that one here, and it's going to be a little bumpy. So it gives it some texture. But you just keep adding the tissue paper to it. And your hands get a little sticky. And you can stick your fingers in there. That makes it kind of easy too to do that. But you can crinkle it up also while you're doing it. That's another way to do it. You can crinkle it up. And see how that goes. Then there's some crinkles or wrinkles, if you want to call them wrinkles. And you can make it, you don't want to make it too terribly thick because otherwise then you won't see the light through it. So we don't want to make it too terribly thick. And it doesn't have to be you don't have to cover every little inch of it either. Whoops, dropping tissue paper. You can just cover, you know, maybe the bottom half or the sides, like this. Like that. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're going to do with this one. And you let it dry, and this will stay. The tissue paper will stay stuck on the glass. All right, and I'm going to take the paper towel. Excuse me for being out of camera sight for a second. I'm just going to kind of wipe the bottom because I don't want it to stick on the paper. So I'm going to just rub the tissue paper across there, or the paper towel across the bottom. There we go. And then feel it. If it feels wet, take the paper towel and rub it across. Because you don't want to sit it down while it's wet, because then it'll stick to whatever you hear sitting it on. And we certainly don't want to ruin any of mom's things or dad's things when we do that. Okay, so I'm going to sit it right there. I hope you can see that. I guess you can see that. Okay, now there's that one. That's the one with the green and the yellow. Now I'm going to do another one. But we're going to do it with this because this is going to be even lighter. And I want to be able to show you the difference between the two. So we're just going to snitch a few pieces of tissue paper off of this one. And a couple off of this one. Now you can actually, these are really fun. If you wanted to make gifts with this, you can make some pretty, maybe you can get a red tea light or a red candle that's like in this one right here. And then make something like this for mom and dad for Valentine's Day. And tell them how much you appreciate them being there for you, and the love that they get you and the love that you give to get back to them. So there's our light blue and our lighter blue. Okay? So there's the little pieces. And this is, it's fun to do, it's easy to do. And like I said, you can use glass jars that you have at home that mom and dad don't need anymore. And Mod Podge is something you can get at Target, Walmart, Joann's Fabric Store. You can get them just about any place. Okay, Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put more Mod Podge on this one. We'll do this a little quick. And stick it on there. So there's the blue, the light blue and the dark blue, and you can overlay the pieces. The more you overlay it, the less light is going to come shining through. So we want to have, that's why I did the really super light blue. Now as far as these go, as far as the candle goes, to be on the safe side, if your mom and dad or your mom has at home, if she has tea lights that you would be able to use. That's what we're going to use today, is we can use a tea light. You can also use a candle, but you want to be sure that if you're making it as a gift for your mom and dad, that you have their permission to use the supplies. Okay, that's always important to do. So, and then maybe even have a friend you like to give this to. I know it's pretty hard to get stuff to your teachers and things like that that help you with your schoolwork and stuff. But this is a fun thing to do. And if you use the tea light, that could be something that you could even use for yourself in your own room. You know, if you wanted to have a light. But the fun part about this is to recognize that we have inside of us the ability to share the love and to be that loving person and to share who we are simply by the things that we do, the things that we say. And if you remember this little part of the story that they said, the more love that you recognize for yourself, the more you're able to give. Okay, I think we'll do. That one's stubborn. Okay. Good. There's a little piece. Pick it up like that. Okay, I'm going to put it there. Okay, so now this one is in your lighter colors. I'm going to do the same thing again about the bottom before I set it down. We just want to just go around it like that. And then feel it. You'll feel if there's any sticky there. You can wipe the sticky off. Okay, so now we're going to put this here. So now we have one that's a little darker and one that's a little bit lighter. So, and these, like I showed you before, this is the one that has the little candle in it that you can get. And usually you can get those at the Dollar Tree. And this is our tea light that we're going to put in this one. And then this one, we're going to put, that's a really dull one. Let's go to this one. There we go. There. Now in this one, as you can see, with the other light shining on it, you can see that the tissue paper colors the light. You can see how bright that is? Now let's compare the two. I'll put this one this way and this one this way. There we go. There. So this one, which one do you think shines better or shines more? So this could be the love you have inside of yourself, and this is how much brighter it is when you share it with your family and your friends. See the difference in the light? And of course with the tea light we're going to turn it off, but sometimes when we feel blue and things like that and sad and we can't do the things we want to do, we kind of feel sad inside. But if we recognize the lighter, the more we connect with the love that we have within ourselves, the more we're able to share, and we're able to brighten our own lives as we begin to brighten our family and our friends. Which is, this would be ourselves, and this would be sharing it out with our families. It's so much brighter. So that's a quick little way in order to talk about the different things in the story. We didn't talk about how you take care of the earth and things like that. When we use our glass, we can reuse that, wash it and reuse it, which is saving putting trash in the dumps in the towns and cities we live in, and reusing the tissue paper for something different instead of just throwing it in the trash, which is one of the things I do. I use tissue paper for a lot of stuff, and I just kind of recycle it for other things. So recycling is one of the other things that you can do that makes a difference not only in your life, but the life of the planet. So the more we can recycle and the more that we can be conscious about of what we're doing and what we're using, makes a difference in our world. And that's one of the things that they were talking about by taking care of the earth. Because it certainly takes care of us, if you think about it. It supplies water, and it supplies rain, and it supplies food, and it supplies warmth. It supplies all kinds of things. And we just have to give it back by being careful and cautious about what we use. So this is just one of the little things that you can use as a gift for your family, your mom and dad if you want to. Put it down here so you can see it. Or for yourself, because when you use the tea light, it's safe. It's not anything that you can knock it over and cause a fire or anything. You would be able to use the tea lights. So there's a few little ideas that you can take and use them. And again, I'm going to take the book here and show you. This is the story. And you heard the lady's name. Her is Safina. And that's hers. That she's right here on the back of the book. I know that's really hard for you to see. But she's the one, she's what they call the great storyteller. And she's the one that was telling the characters the story. And they're remembering the things that she had said when they were sharing that about the story. But that's where some of the stories come from. And then Bunny Hull. And like I said, Dream a World is her website that you can find all kinds of information. And she has all kinds of really fun books. So those are really fun to read. So if mom and dad would like to get some of those for you and you'd love to have them, that's the place that you could connect with them and get those books. So I thank you very much for joining me this morning. Remember, see if you get a chance, make yourself a love light that you can see. I know we feel it on the inside, but this is you can physically look at it and go, that's me. I'm making my light shine and I'm making a difference not only in my world, but the world of everybody around me. Because when I'm happy and I'm bright and I'm glowing, they get that too. Because love and warmth is warm. And that's what gives out that glow and that loveliness to have with your family and your friends. All right? So there's a little gift idea maybe for Valentine's Day for mom and dad. That would be fun to make. And it doesn't have a lot of cost. And it's a lot of fun to do. You can get a big jar. The other thing you can do with this, just as we're parting here, the other thing you can do with the tissue paper in a jar, if you have a tall glass container, you can cover it with the different colors of tissue paper and make it look like stained glass, and you can use it as a vase for flowers. Mom loves flowers, so that might be something else you could create that you could do at home for them. All right? So remember, the more love light that you build for yourself, the more you give out to the world. So continue making a difference for yourself and everyone around you. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. So take care.